Terry Gannon, welcome again to the first major international event of the figure skating season. An important one, too, because this is where skaters unveil programs and engage reactions to them with an eye on the upcoming Olympics, as well as the U.S. National and World Championships, which you can see right here on ABC Sports. Now, today we'll see the ice dancing and ladies competitions. It's round one of Kwan versus Lipinski from Detroit. Then next Sunday, our coverage continues with champions being crowned in the men's and pairs events. Back to the present right now, though, as we welcome in Peggy Fleming. Peggy, the rivalry between Michelle Kwan and Tara Lipinski, we saw it develop last year, but now it's reached an entirely different level.
It really has, Terry. This is a really exciting time in U.S. figure skating because we have the two ladies' favorites for the Olympic gold medal. And every step in an Olympic year is critical. For Tara and Michelle, Skate America is that first step. They're sizing each other up for the season, and I really feel that having a competitor close on your heels challenges you to work even harder. And these two exceptional athletes are doing just that. Tara's strength is still those triple jumps, which are extraordinary. But Michelle Kwan is an athlete of depth and talent, and she has learned a command of the ice that is truly breathtaking.
And you know what it's like being a teenage world champion. So does Mr. Dick Button, who we welcome in right now. Dick,
you that part about the teenage being the
maybe
teenage
a few
champion.
years, I think.
Well,
we'll give you that. But you've watched Michelle and Tara skate all week in practice. Where are they now as compared to when we saw them compete the last time?
Well, one major difference is that Tara seems to have grown a couple of inches since last year. Now, her camp admits to the fact that she's grown only 1 inch, and probably that's because they don't want the subject of her growth to become a cause celeb. But there's no need to worry. She has lucked out. It all landed in her legs, and her proportions are just wonderful for skating now. Artistically, she is much more conscious of line and position, but she's just beginning to understand that great artistry is internal, not external. Michelle, on the other hand, skates like she's learning that there's a lot more to life than child's play. Her short program gives me the goosebumps. There's a lightness to it and a joy to it that makes me hold my breath. They both may still be teenagers, and they both may be daddy's little girl, but I've got to tell you, their approach to skating shows that they are sophisticated, mature strategists.
Thinking of strategy and nerves, no doubt a part of the ladies' short program warm-up. Tara Lipinski now on the ice getting ready.
Well, warm-ups can be very difficult. They can sometimes be very prophetic by telling you how the skater is doing, and sometimes it doesn't mean anything at all.
And Michelle Kwan hopes it's the latter. And the short program lasting an arduous 2 minutes and 40 seconds with 8 required elements, Peggy.
Yes, and there is a lot of pressure on the skaters. They're required to do 3 jumps, 3 spins, and 2 step sequences. The key being the combination jump, and the level of difficulty can vary greatly with the skaters.
Representing the United States, Angela Nikodinov.
And taking the ice first is the 17-year-old from San Pedro, California, who we saw finish an impressive 4th at last year's U.S. Nationals. Here is Angela Nikodinov.
And she really was a breath of fresh air last year.
And this is a program that she skated at the Nationals last season, choreographed by her coach, Peter Oppegaard.
She really has a stunning talent if she chooses to show it. This triple Lutz was really very solid. She almost seems to, in the practice sessions here, to be guarded about her skating and not to let loose. But when she chooses to do so, she can be really first rate.
Double axel. She takes one element at a time. She looks very careful.
I think that's one of her problems, is that she is so careful and very controlled. She doesn't seem to let loose.
And talking to the skaters, they say that happens more often in the short program because you're trying not to make a mistake throughout the entire 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
It's like skating on eggshells.
I don't think that's the case here. I think she's just naturally conservative or concerned about letting loose. if you notice something, all of these triple jumps are very solid and very steady. Final combination spin with not more than one change of foot.
Nice job.
And finally, a smile.
And a sigh of relief. This is her first big international competition. She's competed at the U.S. Nationals. She's already qualified to make the junior world team from the U.S., but this is the first time on an international scale she's skated in an event this big. Angela Nikodinov. And coming up next, our first look of the season at Michelle Kwan, her short program, when we return to Detroit. And welcome back to Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. Angela Nikodinov of the U.S., along with her coach, Peter Oppegaard, and there are her scores for required elements. They range from 4.9 up to 5.6.
And they're very strong because, essentially, her triple jumps are very solid.
And here is a look at her combination jump, a triple lutz, which takes off from an outside edge. It looked like maybe she went to an inside, but she's a very solid jumper into a double toe loop. She looked very relaxed in them.
Well, this is her first big competition, first major international competition. She was hoping for a good start. And here are her marks. The presentation, they range from 5.0 up to 5.6.
And that represents a very solid program with no major mistakes, but it also represents a performance that could have had more excitement.
Well, we are literally seconds away from the season's first matchup in the best rivalry in skating. Kwan Lipinski. For more on that, here's Jimmy Roberts.
Well, Terry, never before in the history of this sport have two skaters from the same country, each with a world and national title season behind them, returned to skate against each other in a subsequent year. Yet here they are, Tara and Michelle. Neither can vote yet. One is barely old enough to drive, so it might sound odd to say, but it's true. These two very young ladies have a good bit of shared history between them. From the very first time we ever saw them, they seemed to be impossibly little girls doing preposterously difficult things.
Tara Lipinski, and she's only 4 years old.
Now, they have both arrived at a place where there's really only room for one, the top step. For Michelle, it really started in 1996 with her first national title, and later a dramatic victory at Worlds. Lipinski had yet to arrive.
Single flaw there. She gave nothing, up nothing for that performance. Absolutely the best.
And a lot of dreams came true that night. Skating so well, winning the medal. Just overall, it was the best.
For a year, she was unbeaten. Yet when she returned to defend her national title, she fell 3 times. It was the beginning of the most difficult, perplexing year in her skating career.
I didn't skate very well, and I got off the ice, and I was like, this is crazy. I'm killing myself, you know. I'm putting myself through torture, and I'm not loving skating as much as I did.
Meanwhile, 14-year-old Tara Lipinski had arrived. She skated flawlessly and fearlessly, stealing Kwan's national title away.
She held on with the concentration, and this is the final move. Running camel spin. Now watch the rest of this. And this audience already on its feet.
How wonderful. Oh.
Good grief. What have we wrought on the world?
The answer was the youngest world champion ever. And after having defeated Michelle at every major competition last year, a rivalry on the order of Everett and Navratilova in this year where there's really only room for one on the top step.
I almost feel a little less pressure than last year because I had so much to accomplish. You know, I was always thinking, you know, I want to be world champion. I would love to be national champion. And I had, you know, last year I didn't even know I was going to do it. So I had so much pressure trying to make those goals for myself. And now that I've accomplished that, it feels kind of, you know, look what I've done, and I can do better this year. There's a lot of things that go through my mind about this coming year. Something I'm looking forward to. This is what I've looked forward to since I was 7 years old, watching the 1988 Olympics. And since then, I was like, I'm going to be at the Olympics. You know, so now my dreams are coming true. I can't wait for this season because it's everything I've wished for. And I think my main goal is to skate well and skate with my heart and really enjoy this whole season.
Representing United States, Michelle Kwan.
She may have given up her U.S. and world titles a year ago, but Michelle Kwan says she gained a perspective on how skating fits into her life. She begins to test the approach right now with her first short program of the season.
And the most important thing is the choice of music, all by Rachmaninoff.
And she pulls every note out of this music.
Combination, the dreaded two-jump combination, the first a triple Lutz. That was as neat and clean as they come. In fact, that was exquisite. Gentle and light. There's a joy to her skating now.
Landing position in the double axel. This section, the step sequence, shows the command over the ice that she has with these quick moves. Interprets the music very well.
There's nothing heavy about this. A lightness, a gentle stepping on the ice that really is quite elegant. It's almost as if she puts no effort into the jump. Wonderful back position. And look at here at the lean of this forward inside spiral. That is wonderful.
Inspiring skating. Good for her.
This may be where Tara Lipinski lives and trains, but the crowd on their feet here at Joe Louis Arena for Michelle Kwan.
I mean, for me, she really takes a step forward with this program. I just found it, I think probably the thing that makes it work so well is that the music works so well for skating. Romantic, edging, just glorious.
The first obstacle flawlessly overcome. A sigh of relief, a chance to sit back and enjoy for Michelle Kwan. But she can't savor it for long. Her main competitor, Tara Lipinski, takes the ice when we come back. And back here in Detroit Live, Michelle Kwan, along with her coach, Frank Carroll. No doubt very high marks, and here they are for required elements. 5.7s and 5.8s.
And the clue to these marks is their consistency. They represent the fact that she made absolutely no mistakes. They also represent the fact that she didn't do the most difficult triple jumps that are possible.
Michelle Kwan is known for her artistry. The required element marks very high. We'll wait to see what the presentation marks will
And
be.
this was her solid combination jump, triple Lutz, double toe, very controlled, very nicely done.
And this was that magnificent inside spiral. Look at how the free leg extends directly behind the body. That's what makes it so wonderful. Change of edge to an outside position.
The presentation marks already being read. You can hear the reaction of the crowd. They're all 5.9s. How about that for consistency?
Tells you exactly what the judges are thinking, that they like her skating very, very much.
A very high standard already set.
Representing the United States, Tara Lipinski.
And now it's time for Tara Lipinski to try to answer that. She begins her quest for an Olympic gold medal where she lives and trains here in Detroit.
Triple Lutz. Triple Lutz, double loop. Perfectly done.
I can see an improvement in her artistry. She's holding moves out much longer, really feeling the music more than she did last season. Coming up is a triple flip, more difficult than what Michelle did. Very nicely done.
Entrance to that camel. She lost the hook at the entrance of it, but that really is nitpicking. Now that was really a first-rate program from so many points of view. The jumps were wonderful, the spins were wonderful. It did not quite have the inner heart that Michelle Kwan had. There is joy here. There is wonderful skating. There's nothing that you can criticize or pick at. It just doesn't quite have the fulfillment, the maturity, the charm, and the joy that Michelle had.
But there's been so much speculation as to who the pressure's on this year, who is the pursuer, who's being pursued. So far, really no indication of either one of them cracking and giving way.
I can answer your question. Both are being pursued.
Now the triple Lutz is supposed to take off from an outside edge. Watch here where Tara switches to the inside edge, and this is a common fault which makes this jump a little easier. And here was a look at the bobble she did on her camel. She just didn't get a hook into it, but she saved it, and it was a very minor fault.
So Tara, along with her coach Richard Callahan, and remember that Michelle Kwan scores 5.7 and 5.8 for required elements, so Tara's are a little bit lower than that. The lowest, a 5.5.
And that reflects the fact of the mistakes that she made, even though she did more difficult triple jumps than Michelle Kwan did.
And here are the presentation marks. They're in the 5.7 to 5.8 range. Remember, Michelle Kwan had all 5.9s for presentation, so it is Kwan who takes the early lead here at Thrifty Car Rental Skate America International. Much more skating left, though. We're back to Detroit after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Thrifty Car Rental Skate America International continues here on ABC Sports as we welcome you back to Detroit for the final skater of the ladies' short program, Yulia Lautova, the four-time Austrian champion.
There's a marked improvement in every aspect of her skating from last season. More speed, more height in her jumps.
And she's back living in Moscow, which is where she is originally from.
Opening jump combination is triple Lutz, double toe.
And the turn between the two jumps is what is going to destroy the mark on that movement. The two-jump combination calls for no turns or steps between the two jumps.
Wow. She really wanted to land that.
A layback spin. The leg very weak here. In fact, none of the laybacks that we've seen in this program so far have been A+.
Her improvement is she's finishing off moves a lot more and skating to the music more than she did last season, relating to the audience. Nice position in this flying camel.
Remember, there must be, sorry, Peggy, there must be a minimum number of 6 revolutions in the landing position. That layback position again. She's really very charming, isn't she?
Yes, I think she left her performance on the practice session.
Yeah, the technique didn't hold her up.
She won her first Austrian national championship at the age of 12. She is only 16. At this point, came in 4th last year at this event. Yulia Lautova.
And here is her triple Lutz double toe combination. She reaches back for the takeoff and has trouble on this landing. Takes a turn and goes into the double toe. So she will be marked off. It won't be a combination. And this is her triple flip. She also had trouble on the landing, but held on to it, so she will get credit for that.
Her coach, Marina Kudryavtseva, offering support, and there are the required element marks, 4.5 up to 5.2.
And they're generally low because, frankly, she had a lot of problems all the way through that program.
And the marks for presentation, 5.0 to 5.5. She finished 4th a year ago at this event. Disappointing short program for Yulia.
Well, there's basically very poor technique here.
So here are the standings after the ladies' short program. Michelle Kwan just ahead of Tara Lipinski. Lavrin Shook edges out Angela Nikodinov for that 3rd spot. But so far, so good. The first step out of the way for Michelle Kwan. She is with Jimmy Roberts right now.
All right, Terry, thanks very much. And Michelle, you said this is not only a new program for you, but it's a new attitude that you've been working on. Try and enjoy the ride a little bit more. Did that help you at all tonight?
Yes, I just, when I was warming up, I was having a lot of fun, but I was doing a little mistakes, and I was trying to wake myself up. And when I got out there and I heard the crowd going, and it just lifted my spirit, and I just let it go and had a lot of fun.
Is it any easier coming into a new season not wearing the crown on your head?
Well, I can't say that because I wouldn't want to wear the crown in my head now, but, you know, I'm the underdog now, as they would say, and I just got to go out there and just look at myself and just say, I just want to skate my best and not worry about anything else.
All right, Terry, well, here we are at Joe Louis Arena, and it looks like we've got Ali and Frazier. The only thing is we're going to have to wait a little while to see who's playing which role.
All right, Jimmy, the first of many rounds that we'll see all season long goes to Michelle Kwan. She is the leader after the ladies' short program, but plenty of time left for Tara Lipinski to come back here in Detroit. The ladies' free skate comes up in a little bit. But first, we'll bring you the ice dancing competition featuring Liz Punselin and Jared Swallow, the U.S. champions, when we continue with Thrifty Car Rental Skate America on ABC Sports.